Hello brothers and welcome back to another video. So today's video is dedicated to the new upcoming Warhammer games which were announced while I was away on holiday. So let's jump in and let's get discussing. So we have two 40k games coming out and we also have one AOS game which is coming out as well. Let's start with the actual 40k games because this is a 40k channel, so I'm going to start where the best stuff is. So let me clear this all up real quick. Focus are an actual publisher, just like EA publishes games and stuff like that, and they work with companies. A lot of people think Focus are the ones that actually make the games. They are not. They're just the ones who help the companies, partner with the companies to put the products out there and stuff like that. So if you see Focus attached to Battlefleet Gothic, it's not Focus that is making Battlefleet Gothic. It's another company. Focus is just the publisher, just in the case of these two new 40k titles. So the first company is Sabre, and the only information we actually have attached to this at the moment is a banner that says Protect, Redeem, Purge, and it has the Imperial Aquila on it. Now the whole banner itself is not really special in any kind of way because this was released at the Focus Interactive event in Paris, and they basically did this with all the games, not just 40k games. For example, another Sabre game is a driving game, and it has Endure, Adapt, outrunning it with a wheel and all that kind of stuff. So it's nothing. Don't look too much into the banner and think, oh my god, Protect, Redeem, Purge. These are just cool 40k sounding words at the end of the day. Now, the only information we actually get from this is just one line of text, and it says their second title may be the most ambitious project in the publisher's history. This is referring to the 40k project, a AAA quality experience supported by one of the most important licenses in the Games Workshop universe. Right, so the first big important line about that is a AAA quality experience. Now, when we come to 40k games, we haven't really been blessed with AAA supported content. We've had good games. I'm not saying everything's been trash, but the majority of the 40k games haven't been up there as good as they can be. They've been done on the cheap, and they basically just glazed over some of like the core aspects of 40k, and it's been fun, but it hasn't been amazing. So what really stands out on that little line for me is a AAA quality. When I think AAA, I think, you know, a massive budget. I think a huge story, voice actors, big explosions. You know, when I'm just gonna call like in Call of Duty and stuff. I'm not saying it's gonna be a Call of Duty game, but you know, that kind of level story wise and stuff like that. That's something I want from a 40k game. I want that level of storytelling that gets me lost in the story. Like Deathwing had a pretty cool story, but it was basically go here and blow things up. It got quite tedious at the end. I really hope, this is me just going into fandom now, that we have something that it gives you a character which you grow attached to, and that character means something. Now, for that to happen, I don't see it being something like a Space Marine, because Space Marines have no fear. Space Marines live to die. That is basically their ethos. They seek glory in death. They have no fear. They go in and just purge everything. As like, again, Deathwing, you just go in and shoot big guns and everything dies. Whereas if they give us something where we play like just a normal human, that human has mortality. He's scared of that. He doesn't want to die. He's not a Space Marine. He wants to look after himself. So if we have that experience like of an Imperial Guard trying to survive a war or something like that, I think that could really make a better crafted story than just jumping into a room as like a 5-ton ceramite armored monster going, "Purge for the Emperor," and all that kind of stuff. Now, moving on to the second most important point of that sentence is supported by one of the most important licenses in the Game Workshop universe. So it mentions licenses within Games Workshop. So this makes me think that this is going to be a game based on one of the expansions of Warhammer 40,000. So, for example, what I mean by that, I mean stuff like Epic or Gorka Morka. Space Hulk was a license of it. Adeptus Titanicus. All these kind of licenses that you see now for 40k that are coming out, all these little side skirmish games, these are licensed games in Games Workshop, so that piques my interest somewhat. I'm thinking, what really could they go down a route of a licensed game? We've already had Space Hulk, so I don't see Space Hulk getting any more. If they did, I think I'm going to be really banging my head against the wall. Like, I love Space Hulk, don't get me wrong, I love it, but I think they've overused it now so much. We've experienced the gameplay as Terminators. Let us play as something else. So please, no more Terminators or anything like that. Battlefleet Gothic is another one that's already been done as well. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, this is me just thinking off the top of my head. Maybe they could either go with Adeptus Titanicus, where you play as like a princeps. Imagine that, going around a planet, walking around in a Warhound, Warlord, Reaver, or something, an amazing experience, like in a cockpit, going around just blowing things up, fighting other Titans, from Xenos or Heretic Titans or anything like that. Or maybe they could go for a more storytelling kind of game. Again, this references to the AAA kind of concept. And maybe they can do Inquisitor, because if you remember, there was a board game called Inquisitor. I think it was a 54mm scale, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. I never got to play it, but I think that's where there was an Eisenhorn model based in that and stuff. And I think there was a Deathwatch model as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a kind of a big thing. If I remember correctly, I think Dan Abnett said that is where Eisenhorn was born. He actually wrote a novel around that game. So yeah, we got to thank Dan Abnett and the Inquisitor for that. But when you come to that Inquisitor game, I think you have so much potential if you play an Inquisitor. That is probably one of my top 3 games. I've gone on record saying I would love to play. Think of it like The Witcher, but 40k setting. Maybe you're in a hive, you go around, you're investigating a certain chaos cult or anything like that. You get loads of side missions, like maybe Xenos tech in the city. There's so much stuff you can do as an Inquisitor, as an Inquisitor, because you have that unlimited power. You answer to no one. You really do answer to no one as an Inquisitor. So you can go around. You can go toe to toe with Space Marines, like telling them to back off if you wanted to. All these like High Lords or the governors on planets. They can't do anything to you because you only answer to the Emperor of Mankind. And the way he's been going for the last 10,000 years, he's not really been saying that much. So if they do go down that Inquisitor route as like a specialist type of licensed game, then I think that could be really, really good. That could be a really, really big, massive hitter, especially for those 40k fans, because there's so much potential for story. There is so much potential for that story in that kind of setting. And the next game is from a studio which I struggle to pronounce all the time, but we've already had a game from him. It's Spatial Deathwing. These guys are familiar to the 40k setting, so it's Straeum On. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. These guys, it says here, finally Straeum On are evolving what they achieved with Spatial Deathwing in a new IP, utilizing their know-how in first-person shooter genre. So basically, it's confirmed that this game is going to be a first-person shooter, and the little banner that we got with this one actually gave a little bit more information than just the Aquila that we got from the last game. It says descend, assassinate, and collect. So again, it's just random words thrown in, and the image, it kind of looks like an Inquisitor, but I don't think it is an Inquisitor. Maybe it's like some kind of bounty hunter or something like that. I'm thinking descend, assassinate, collect, something Imperial. Anyway, I think we can all agree on that. But what kind of game is it going to be? Is it going to be something just like Deathwing again, where you go around first person, go around just killing loads of Xenos, loads of guys or men like that? I really, really hope that Straeum evolves what they did with Spatial Deathwing. Spatial Deathwing was a fun game, but it did have a lot of problems, especially for a lot of console people. Now, this game launched on PC first. It was supposed to launch on Xbox and PS4. If I can recall correctly, it only launched on it only launched on one of the consoles. I think it was Xbox. Or was it PS4 it launched on? I think it only launched on PS4. Again, I'm not a console guy, and a lot of the crowd who pre-ordered the game for the other console, which it didn't come on, really took a disliking to the company. So they really have. They really need to prove themselves now to get these people back on board, because I've already really seen some of the negative comments saying I'm not going to play this game because what you pulled was Spatial Deathwing. It didn't run well at the start. It was very, very bugger, it kept crashing, all that kind of stuff, which is, of course, people are entitled to, because it did have its problems at the start. Touch wood, I was very, very lucky. I had no problems with it. It was one of my favourite 40k games. I've always said that, walking through the Space Hulks, just looking at the environments and all that kind of stuff when it came to Spatial Deathwing, I thought it was probably the best 40k game that captured the essence of the environment of 40k. Gameplay wise, when you come to play the Tyranids, after a few times just purging with the assault cannon or the flamor, or just going around chopping things apart, the game did get very, very boring. They tried to save it with the update they did, where they give like all the customization, all the levels and stuff like that. But again, it still had the same problems of being very, very stagnant when you played the level 3 or 4 times. It's like, okay, it's just this again, and it just got very, very boring. So hopefully they've learned the lessons from that game, and they offer us more exciting things when you come to play this game. Well, I'm jumping into making the conclusion that this game is going to be multiplayer. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just going to be a full-on single-player experience. But if they do multiplayer, then hopefully they can make it a bit more fun than they did with Spatial Deathwing. But I'm very, very interested to see what they do with this one. Again, it looks Imperium-wise from that banner, so let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. And it can only be a good thing if people start making 40k games. That's how I think. As me being a 40k fanboy, I basically thought this year was just going to be empty. We just had Battlefleet Gothic. Necromunda has gone silent. I have no idea what's happening with that game. But I thought, are we really only going to get one 40k game this year? But apparently not. So whatever happens, I think it'll be a fun ride. And lastly, let's talk about Age of Sigmar, because this is something I hardly ever do on this channel, because guess what? I'm not really a fan of Age of Sigmar. I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean like that, screw Age of Sigmar. It's just, I've not really been involved in it at all. Nothing's really brought me into Age of Sigmar, but there's a new game coming out from Gasset Games, and it says it's composed of veterans from the Dawn of War franchise. Hopefully not Dawn of War 3 veterans, hopefully Dawn of War 1 / Dawn of War 2 veterans. They're developing a title match to their core strengths in one of Games Workshop's most popular IPs. So first things first, big thing for AOS. You're actually getting it seems like a proper video game now. I know you've had some of that mobile kind of stuff, which I don't think anyone's really a fan of. But this could be big, and what I mean by that is that if you remember, Dawn of War brought a lot of 40k fans into the 40k franchise. Maybe this is what they're trying to do again now, and bring a lot of people into the AOS franchise. Hopefully, I'm one of them, because I've stated so many times, the story is not motivated me at all. I'm one of these people that is attracted to the narrative stories in the games I play. So if they can grasp me and get me behind, maybe explain some of the lore to a simpleton like me, maybe I can come over and I be converted to AOS and maybe pick up some models and stuff like that. But I'm excited when I see Dawn of War franchise / veterans mentioned into a sentence. I instantly think of Dawn of War 1, Dawn of War 2 and stuff like that. So if these are the guys that were on board making those games back in the day, I think it can only be really, really cool, awesome things. I am kind of looking forward to it. Let's see what happens. Am I a bit disappointed that it's not a 40k game? comprised of the Dawn of War veterans? Maybe, just a tad little bit in the back of my mind. But at the end of the day, AOS does need some love as well. I have been speaking with Focus Interactive, and they are going to be giving me the press kit ASAP. So hopefully, very, 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 very soon, I can share some more information about these games. I am looking forward to it. Anything 40k wise gets me excited. You know this by now. Hopefully, maybe it's a Primax Simulator game. My mother of God, they're making awesome stuff. Let's see what happens. Right, but for now, that's me done for another video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments section below, what do you think the games could be? Do you think it's going to be like an Inquisitor game? Do you think it's just going to be like another Space Marine game? Are you hoping for a certain different kind of race, genre, whatever? Post it below in the comment section, and we can have a nice little fun chat about it down there. Thank you for watching this video once again. I shall see you all very, very soon. Have a great day, and bye-bye.